this is Manindrabu from Batam. I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
I'm Sela Sadakau from Vatupula. I only listen to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Gold Benaka, I'm Vale and I'm working at Golden Grove Resort, and I love listening to Gold FM because it plays a really wide range of classic music.
I'm Saini Sakio from Kashmir Wotoka. I like Gold FM, but only the classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Good evening, I'm Jackie Spade. This is FBC News. Tonight, Prime Minister Vorenge Bainimarama once again calls for support in fight against climate change. Former FNPF employee appears in court over alleged Winston money theft. And later in sports, Vatema Ravovo under injury, cloud ahead of London Sevens. Prime Minister Vorenge Bainimarama has made a call to major developing countries to give small Pacific Island nations the means to combat the pressing issue of climate change. Speaking at the UNESCO meeting in Bangkok, Bainimarama says a more concerted global response is needed regarding the issue. Ali Kimbia has more.
There is a high risk that some small island nations in the Pacific can submerge the world of its moral obligation.
Events. Stronger homes with your governments to places at the top.
Speaking strongly on climate has been designated as a middle-income nation. Bainimarama says Fiji has taken the lead role in assisting other Pacific Island countries by offering permanent homes to some of our affected neighbors. Ali Kimbia, FBC News.
A former Fiji National Provident Fund employee who is charged with 4 counts of obtaining property by deception has been further remanded until May 24th. Rachel Matakimbao is alleged to have cashed checks intended for recipients of the fund's Cyclone Winston Assistance Initiative amounting to $16,500. Police prosecutor Luke Ngerewai objected to bail because the second investigation regarding a similar incident is still continuing, and the case is serious, involving a substantive amount of cash. Prosecution says the case is of public interest, with CCTV footage evidence identifying the accused. Educating people on key health issues is an important tool for controlling the spread of diseases during and after a disaster in Fiji. This was highlighted by Assistant Minister for Health Veena Bhatnagar at a key health workshop in Suva today. Kelly Vavala has the details.
Disasters such as the recent Cyclone Winston is a threat to everyone, and it can trigger a whole new set of diseases.
If we educate people on the proper steps to stay healthy after a disaster, we can prevent many communicable diseases from ever happening. Typhoid, dengue, Zika, leptospirosis. These are all illnesses we can control if we control our environment properly. Infants and elderly, pregnant women and Fijian living in rural and remote areas are all disproportionately affected by these diseases and disasters.
World Health Organization representative Eric Niles says the Asia-Pacific region is the most disaster-prone areas in the world, and Fiji is expected to face more disasters due to climate change.
Tropical Cyclone Winston was a devastating storm, a storm that many consider to be a once-in-a-lifetime event. However, I would like to highlight that climate change has serious implications for Fiji and the Pacific Islands, and more frequent and more powerful cyclones and other extreme weather events can be expected in the future.
The Ministry of Health is urging everyone to take part in the Clean Up Fiji Fight the Bite campaign to destroy all mosquito breeding places, which will assist in minimizing the spread of diseases. Kelly Vadala, FBC News.
Speaker of the House of Representatives Dr. Chico Luveni says realizing the ideals of human rights needs to be understood against the reality of Fiji's situation. She made the comments in relation to rising cases of violence against women and children and mounting debate on how best to tackle the issue. Maggie Boyle with this report.
Last week, the Police Commissioner, Brigadier General Sitiveni Ngeleho, noted that over 2,600 cases of sexual abuse were reported in 2015. These numbers are expected to pale, with a 6% increase already recorded this year. Speaker of the House, Dr. Chico Leveni, says there is a need to re-evaluate how the issue is being tackled.
We are not really progressing far. And in my opinion, there needs to be a re-look at the approaches that we have been following to try and tackle this.
Dr. Leveni has also spoken of the comments made by Methodist Minister Reverend Eliezer Naivalu, who said women should dress appropriately to avoid sexual abuse.
To address the reality, what is the reality rather than the ideal? The ideal from the human rights perspective is that women should be free to dress, whatever they like, however they like, anywhere they like. That is ideal from the human rights issue. But the reality is that men, and this is the statement was coming from a man himself, the Reverend Naivalu, that men do get stimulated.
Fiji Women's Crisis Centre Coordinator Shamima Ali, in a press statement, says they are appalled at the Speaker's comment and are calling for an apology. Rashiko Dare from the NGO The Proposed Be the Change is calling on the Speaker to stop victim blaming. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
Opposition MP and former Public Accounts Committee Chairman Biman Prasad has brushed aside rumours surrounding the PAC controversy. Speaking to FBC News, Prasad says he did not outrightly blame SODELPA MP Aseri Randrondro for complaining about his leadership, but used facts based from the verbatim of the Standing Order Committee of 2nd November 2015. Akusita Thale has more.
This is what the Attorney General said. That is why PEC is losing its mana, because even your member, Honorable Randrondro, has complained to our side about the manner in which the Chairman of Public Accounts Committee conducts the meetings.
Former PEC Chair Biman Prasad says evidence shows that opposition MP Aseri Randrondro was not happy with how he chaired the meetings. He says this was revealed by the Attorney General in the verbatim of the Standing Order Committee of 2nd November 2015.
I did not ambush or embarrass or blame Honorable Randrondro. All I said was the Attorney General made this reference in the Standing Order Committee meeting, full stop. It's not for me to comment about the discussion within the SODELPA party. It's a matter for them.
Prasad adds that after he quoted the Attorney General, he didn't question Randrondro on why he complained, but asked for Randrondro to clarify the matter.
We are a party of our own. We sit together in the opposition. We've worked together very well on a number of issues, and it's not for me to comment on any internal issues within the SODELPA party.
SODELPA's General Secretary, Andili Tiangeni Baravi, did not want to comment on the matter, however, told FBC News it's a matter to be discussed when the parliamentary caucus meets, when party leader Rotemu Mukepa returns from the United States. She adds business is usual. However, attempts to get comments from opposition MP Randrondro proved futile when this bulletin went on air. Akusita Thale, FBC News.
Coming up on FBC News, Lambasa tops list of habitual offenders on the road. And Education Ministry works on equal chances for all students. Stay with us.
I'm Sarah, I'm from Tafwa, and I love listening to Today FM Rocks.
My name is Freddy, I'm from Ganyatong. I listen to Mario on the traffic jam every afternoon.
Hi, my name is Salah, I live in Asinu. Today FM Rocks.
My name is Denasa and I'm from Lutoka, and I love listening to Today FM.
My name is Mulamila, I work at Golden Point Resort. I love listening to Today FM, it rocks in Rakiraki.
I'm Mary from Mandera. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM Rocks.
We love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
Welcome back. This is FBC News. Lambasa tops the list of habitual traffic offenders. As Eleanor View reports, the offences range from over 100 traffic infringements.
Illegal operations and speeding tops the list of offences for drivers in Bunolevu. And according to Land Transport Authority CEO Naisa Tunedeva, most of these offences are committed by drivers in Lambasa.
Lambasa tops the list of the cases where they go for a show cause because of breachment, violations of traffic rules.
Habitual offenders are usually summoned for show cause hearing after committing at least 3 traffic infringements and given a warning. At the show cause hearing, the LTA CEO usually hears their case and decides what action to take against them.
We need to go through the phases of bookings and even of warning or advising or even counseling with the offenders before we can suspend or remove their license.
Tunedeva says he has witnessed for himself speeding drivers in Bunolevu, mostly in Savu-Savu and Lambasa.
Not really hard to be policing the habitual offenders because there are only few of them, and the microscope is on them all the time. It's easy to deal with that.
Last year, the number of drivers in Lambasa that showed up for the show cause in Suva topped the list, and it is the same so far for this year as well. Eleanor View, FBC News.
The Health Ministry has organised a workshop partnering with all civil societies and religious organisations to highlight the importance of working together on Fiji's Fight the Bite cleanup campaign. Health Minister Chone Usumate says they have targeted civil societies and religious organisations because they have centres around the country who can help spread the gospel of fighting these diseases. As Fight the Bite Cleanup Fiji continues, Usumate says people should take the first step in cleaning their various surroundings.
We believe that in order for us to have an impact on the health of the people, we need to have a multi-sectoral partner, bring in everybody who can impact on people. Because one of the most important things that you can do is to get people to change their attitudes towards health.
The Education Ministry together is working to ensure disabled students get access to quality and inclusive education. During the workshop today, Deputy Secretary Kelera Talonga says the ministry will try and strengthen the capacity of teachers to be able to identify and support disabled students. Sainiani Mboila reports.
The Education Ministry says the FAMIS Disability Desegregation Package will enable schools to capture a range of information related to disability inclusive education.
It is envisioned that schools will utilize this tool to identify students with disabilities and will enter resulting data into FAMIS, enabling reporting on variables such as enrollment, attendance, and learning outcomes of students with disabilities.
Talonga adds the package will greatly help teachers and education officers in managing disadvantaged students.
The tool will strengthen the capacity of teachers to understand who does and does not have disability in their classrooms, and will assist them to adapt their classroom practices in order to improve education quality, and when necessary, recommend reasonable accommodation for students during exams and assessments.
5 schools around the country have disability-friendly facilities and have enrolled 84 disabled students. More disabled students are expected to join these schools soon. Sainiani Mboila, FBC News.
The Fijian Elections Office preparation for the next general election is well on track. Supervisor of Elections Mohammed Saneem says the 2018 elections was not far off and they needed to get all in order. Ali Kimbia has the details.
Just over a year away from the next general election, the Fiji Elections Office is confident that they are on par with their preparations.
Currently we are on track based on our strategic plan. The events that we are organizing, the capacity building projects that we are taking up, these are all in line with our strategic plan, and we are also at the same time working on logistics and other support mechanisms for the next elections.
Currently, the Elections Office is focusing on improving and mending the loopholes of the last general election. Saneem says discussions and meetings will be ongoing on how to deliver a credible election.
openly discuss issues surrounding challenges in election operations, challenges that are resulting in highlights in observer reports, and as well as discuss the way all the EMPs can work together to facilitate development towards more credible elections.
The Fiji Elections Office is currently working on replacing electronic voter registration cards on areas that are affected during Tropical Cyclone Winston. Ali Kimbia, FBC News.
Minister for Local Government Praveen Bala is urging all Fijians to not only take action against diseases spread by mosquitoes, but to also have civic pride and clean up their compounds. Bala says the Prime Minister's nationwide cleanup campaign and the Fight the Bite campaign will help tremendously in the fight against dengue fever and the Zika virus. The campaign got a further boost with the donation of 150 cartons of 10 bottles of mosquito breeding blocker from RC Manubai and Company Limited today. Bala and the Minister for Health, Chone Usumate, were present to receive the timely donation, which will assist the two campaigns.
Affected areas have been sprayed, but more work needs to be done to ensure that we reduce or eliminate the spread of dengue and Zika spreading mosquitoes. This is a nationwide campaign, and we ask all Fijians to work together and make these two campaigns successful.
Sports is up next. Here's Vashnil with the latest.
Hello again. Coming up tonight, key players to miss Pacific Nations Cup, and stage all set for Oceania Weightlifting Championships.
Makete tawa aundo talitanga na waronga na Bula FM na magduwa na sir Bula na viti na dango plasio mataire ngone mai na na bulo tabiuni au satunga nandi ando talita na warongo na Bula FM
Bula FM number 2 en seri.
Good evening. A bulk of Vodafone Flying Fijian players based in France will miss the Pacific Nations Cup and the test matches next month. Flying Fijians head coach John McKee has roped in some new players and expects some surprise names when the team is named later in the week. Players like Captain Akapusi Ngera, Pedeliato, Manasa Saulo and...
There's some complications in France with the club season going so long, and the final series is actually...
But coach John McKee says he has the depth in the team and will field an equally experienced side next month.
You know, in coming to that decision, I first pick Suru an opportunity there. I think that
Vodafone Fiji Sevens rep Vatemo Ravovo is under an injury cloud ahead of the London Sevens. While Ravovo is under close observation, coach Ben Ryan is yet to test Jared Hayne, who is likely to be selected in the final 12.
To beat for Ravuvu.
National coach Ben Ryan is keeping a close step on one of his key players ahead of the outing at Twickenham.
The main one's Fatima Ravuvu. I think it's definitely touch and go whether he'll be fit for London Sevens, and certainly we will err on the side of conservatism if we feel that we shouldn't have to play him. So he's the only major injury concern. A couple of boys got some dead legs, but they should flush them out with Normatec and some massage and everything else. We've got 2 rugby sessions tomorrow, and I think at that point I'll probably have a really good indication of whether Jared's got a good chance to play this weekend, or whether it's a week too early, or whether he's not quite going to be ready for this tournament. So we'll see.
You are ready for the ball.
While the current Sevens world champions have been hitting headlines overseas, it has not pulled away their focus on the job ahead.
In fact, you can probably go back to our last 23 or 24 pools. We've won every single one. And we need to make sure we do exactly the same this weekend to guarantee it.
The Fijians.
Our national team will be marching into the tournament brimming with confidence, and all they need to do is to defend the series title in style. And Fiji's pool opponents, Australia Sevens team, might be a little upset about Jared Hayne's switch, but are hoping to finish on a high note in London. Aussie coach Andy Friend has made 5 changes to his squad for the last tournament of the Sevens World Series. Paris Sevens champion Samoa is expecting to stamp its mark in the London tournament this weekend. Samoa coach Damian McGrath says the team is improving game by game. The Pacific neighbours last won the London Sevens title in 2008, beating Fiji by 19-14. Samoa is pooled with South Africa, USA and Canada in London Sevens. Suva is set to host the biggest weightlifting competition in the Oceania region next week. It will be a chance for the lifters to qualify for the Rio Olympics. Charlie Daka has more.
Setting the platform for what is expected to be the most competitive Oceania weightlifting championships in recent years.
We are setting up 10 warm-up areas, and we're setting up the competition stage, and that will be set up in the next 3 days so that before the international officials arrive in the weekend, we have got 80% of the setup and hopefully we can impress them.
There is a lot at stake here for all the lifters who will be vying for the gold medal and a ticket to the Olympics.
We have 6 days to go before the start of the Oceania Championships, when the athletes will be coming in and competing at the Olympic qualifying event here at Vodafone Arena.
Officials are hoping that staging a successful event will attract bigger competition to our shores in the future.
It is important for us that we set a new benchmark and that we can then attract other competitions, Commonwealth Championships and so forth, and maybe even the World Championships in the future. But for now, at the moment, is we need to basically provide the best environment for our Oceania athletes from the 19 countries that are coming in to compete for 9 places at the Olympic Games.
With preparations well on track, the only thing remaining is the public support for the national team's quest in the Oceania Championship from next Tuesday to Saturday. Talento Takataka, FBC Sports.
That's all from sports. Good evening.
Following the devastation of Tropical Cyclone Winston, the city of Lautoka has been at the forefront of returning all its services. The man at the helm of the Lautoka City Council, Chone Nakauvandra, says it is now focusing on completing its capital projects, most of which started last year. Madhyam Bolaitamana with this report.
Now that the dust has settled post-tropical cyclone Winston, the Lautoka City Council has been steering most of its resources towards its capital projects.
After finished the collection of the debris, we have now gone back into our normal routine maintenance and development program for the council, trying to return to normalcy as quick as possible, which basically what the government wanted soon after the cyclone, and that's what we're doing right now.
While there was minimal destruction in the city's central business district, the main concern has been the dwindling vegetable and root crop supply to the markets. Nakauvandra says this has also seen the decline in the number of vendors conducting business throughout the week.
Instead of expecting 80% during weekdays, the supply during weekdays is normally around 50 to 60% during weekdays, and come the weekend, then it normally go up to 80%, 90%, but it's difficult to ever achieve 100% table occupancy during at any time, at any day of the week.
But perhaps one of the greatest landmark projects that has been undertaken by the Lautoka City Council is the development works that are currently underway here at Churchill Park.
It's on schedule right now. We are working very closely with the contractors and people involved in the construction of the turfs and the athletic tracks.
Nakauvandra says the plan is that this facility will be complete by August, in time for the Dean's Final to be hosted here in Lautoka. Madhyam Bolaitamana, FBC News.
Fine weather apart from isolated brief showers prevailed over most parts of the country today. Mombasa was the hottest today on 33 degrees, which was matched by Ba. All the other centres also recorded a hot day. Brief showers about the eastern and interior parts of the larger islands. Elsewhere, fine apart from isolated afternoon or evening showers. Moderate southeast winds, fresh at times, moderate to rough seas. That's to be expected tomorrow. And the outlook is for Friday, and it's going to have brief showers over the interior and eastern parts of the larger islands. Elsewhere, fine apart from isolated afternoon or evening showers. Recapping the main stories for tonight, Prime Minister Vorenge Bainimarama has once again called bigger nations for support in the fight against climate change. Former FMPF employee appears in court over alleged Winston money theft, and Fiji Sevens rep Vathemo Ravovo is under an injury cloud ahead of the London Sevens. For these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. Moving on to our poll question, this week we are asking, should Jared Hayne be included in the Sevens team for the Olympics? To answer, visit our FBC website. Send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. And if you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. You've been watching FBC News. I'm Jackie Spate. Good night.
आपको खरगंगा के रंजिला का नमस्कार। रेडियो फिजी की सुंदर सुंदर यादों का खजाना एकदम बचपन के दिन याद करा देते हैं।
हमारा नाम जॉनी नायडू है, हम रहता है मलोलो में और हम टैक्सी ड्राइवर है। हम सब टाइम अपन टैक्सी में रेडियो फिजी 2 सुनता प्रोग्राम।
हम सिंगाटोका के हैं, हमारा नाम है रोजी, हम लोग यहाँ पे रेडियो फिजी 2 सुनता है।
राम राम, मैं रेमस प्रसाद बोलता हूँ, तब होता मैं कोई रहता हूँ। मैं जब भी सुना रेडियो फिजी 2 ही सुनता हूँ।
रेडियो फिजी 2 देश की धड़कन।